So the Donald Trump clown show continues, and today American businesses are turning against Donald Trump, telling the truth, and now MAGA is going to feel some real pain. That's the subject of today's video, and check out these headlines here. Walmart plans to raise prices because of tariffs, and basically the Walmart CFO came out and again told the truth about what Trump's policies are doing. And yes, you're going to pay more higher prices at Walmart. Here's another headline: Walmart to raise prices despite U.S.-China trade deal. Because remember, Trump and his buddies were all trying to claim victory. Oh, yes, we're so awesome. We made some sort of, quote, deal with China. But ultimately, guys, you're going to pay higher prices. The tariffs are still in place. Let's see what it says here. Walmart has warned Americans will pay higher prices because of Donald Trump's trade war. Despite this week's deal between the U.S. and China to slash punitive tariffs, the world's biggest retailer is particularly exposed to President's sweeping global trade levies. A third of the goods it sells in the U.S. come from other countries, with China one of its largest sources of imports, right? You guys know this. You go to Walmart, there's a bunch of cheap stuff from China. You know this. And effectively, the tariffs are a tax, and you're going to end up paying it. Washington and Beijing agreed this week to cut tariffs for 90 days, reducing levies on Chinese imports to about 40%. From as high as 145%. Also says here, and this is coming directly from Walmart. That's why I want you guys to see this. Doug McMillon, Walmart's chief executive, said the reprieve was not big enough to avert rises for hundreds of millions of customers. That's price rises. Here's a quote. We will do our best to keep our prices as low as possible, but given the magnitude of the tariffs, even at the reduced levels announced this week, we aren't able to absorb all the pressure. The higher tariffs will result in higher prices, right? This is the key. The higher tariffs will result in higher prices. Now, it's not a shock. If you've been watching this channel, you guys know this kind of stuff. They've been trying to downplay this over at Fox News and other places. But yes, you're going to pay higher prices. This is directly coming from Walmart. On top of that, Trump has been promising all the mega people, yes, guys, you're all going to have jobs. All these factory jobs are going to come back. We're going to reshore manufacturing, etc. That's not necessarily what companies have been saying. I told you guys this before, that Apple and Tim Cook were basically pointing out, hey, it looks like we're going to get some more phones and such from India and Vietnam. And basically, if we decouple from the, manufacturing base in China, where else could we go? And again, India and Vietnam. And Trump's getting upset again because companies are just frankly telling the truth. This is what it says. Trump says he has a, quote, little problem with Tim Cook over Apple's India production. So what is Trump saying here? And again, we're going to have these clashes where, say, for example, I'm sure it hasn't come out yet, but I'm sure Trump will have something to say about Walmart. Oh, those Walmart liars. And now he's mad over at Apple here. It says here, the U.S. president said he had a, quote, little problem with Apple's Tim Cook after reports that the company is planning to switch assembly of handsets for the U.S. market from China to India. And I've been telling you guys this about all along. Quote, I had a little problem with Tim Cook yesterday, said Trump, speaking in Qatar on Thursday, referring to Apple's recent promise to spend $500 billion in the U.S. And I have to clarify this stuff also. Many companies under pressure from Trump are pledging. They're pledging to put all this money into the USA over the next, say, 5 years, maybe 10 years. But again, these are pledges. The money has not arrived. The shovels haven't quite hit the ground. Digging the ground for new manufacturing factories, these kind of things. And so a lot of the stuff is smoke and mirrors. And the truth behind the scenes, or you could say even in front of the scenes, as we're literally talking, is companies aren't coming back to build factories. It's just not going to happen at the scale that Trump is promising. Again, it's a lot of smoke and mirrors. And so when China, when this has been in the news the last, a month or so, that Apple's going to India and Vietnam more fully, right? As we did a couple from China, and as this China trade war goes on, Trump's going to get upset with people just basically running their business. Trump says here, I said to him, Tim, you're my friend. You're coming here with 500 billion, but now you're building all over India. I don't want you building in India, right? And, good luck with that, Trump. Let's see what else it says here. However, production in India has reportedly increased due to trade tensions between Washington and Beijing. And there's another quote from Trump here. I said to Tim, we've treated you really good. We've put up with all the plants you've built in China for years, and now you've got to build for us. We're not interested in you building in India. India cannot take care of themselves. We want you to build here. Trump then said Apple, quote, was going to be upping their production in the United States, although he did not provide further details to back up the claim, right? So he's just making stuff up. And what's interesting is I wonder if Trump's going to call out Elon Musk, because the reports have been coming that Musk is, interested in building factories in India. It was before Trump became president that Musk was looking at building factories in Mexico, car production factories, and essentially Musk, that is, put the Mexico stuff on hold, but he's still pursuing the India stuff. And I wouldn't be shocked if ultimately, though, Musk does build a factory in Mexico. I wouldn't be shocked. And again, this is a direct refute of Trump's policy, saying, "Oh, guys, we're going to bring you back all these, factory jobs, etc." On top of that, and this is actually quite an interesting story here, United Health Group is under criminal investigation. This just came out from the Wall Street Journal today, just breaking now, for possible Medicare fraud. What the heck? Now, we don't have the full details of this particular one. And how does this do with the MAGA stuff? Well, this is going to be the interesting thing, is will Trump's Department of Justice pursue this kind of corruption? Because MAGA, you can get, hurt from, various things, to where, Trump's promises don't come through. Trump's, policies raise your prices, or under, Trump's DOJ, right, Department of Justice, if they don't pursue corruption fully, basically companies will cheat you, to put it in the most simplest terms. The kind of stuff that we're talking about, and again, the details will come out, later, is the probe adds to a list of government inquiries into the company, including investigations of potential antitrust violations, civil investigations of its Medicare billing practices at its doctor offices. So that's some of the stuff it could be. I just read you that part because we don't know exactly what this new stuff is, right? Or old stuff. Who knows? It says the Justice Department is investigating United Healthcare Group for possible criminal Medicare fraud. People familiar with the matter. The Healthcare Fraud Unit of the Department of Justice Criminal Division is overseeing the investigation, people said, and it has been active since at least last summer. So this has been going on quite a while, but then it was saying it's unclear exactly what it's going to be. While the exact nature of the potential criminal allegations against United Healthcare is unclear, the people said the federal investigation is focusing on the company's Medicare Advantage business practices. So we'll see what it ends up being. On top of the other things that we've been mentioning, Trump may have to make some U-turns on some of his policies as it gets out, when his poll numbers are sinking and MAGA realize, oh my God, Trump's not helping me; he's actually hurting me. This is why they changed their changed their strategy and basically caved on the U.S.-China trade war, because essentially they were looking at empty shelves, higher prices, and a bunch of angry MAGA people. And then this is the latest one, and essentially you have to wake up the MAGA crowd. Their numbers don't add up either, right? So along with bad policy, they're just budget numbers don't add up. GOP tax bill on track to add more than $2.5 trillion to the U.S. deficit. And for those of you who've been watching my channel, you know this. I've been talking about this for quite a long time, actually. This was well ahead of the election. Economists came out and just said Trump's policies look like it's going to be more deficit spending, increase to national debt, and it looks to be awful, right? And you're also looking at lower GDP, et cetera, and a lot of regressive tax policies. So that's what's going on, and I'd like to hear your thoughts on this stuff. Again, companies are just basically coming out and telling the truth and turning against Trump, because that's what's going on. Trump's policies hurt America. It's not a great way to go, and the math doesn't add up. So do appreciate your time, and I'll catch you on the next video.